Okay guys, welcome to another episode of Strange Attitude Garage. Today what we're going to do is put a 4-inch rough country lift kit in that 84 Bronco. Right now it's kind of a Frankenstein. I've got some springs in the front. I don't know if they are originals or if they're from a leveling kit. I've also got springs in the back. I don't know where those came from. So what I want to do is kind of wipe the slate clean, because I have to get those 35-inch tires in there with more clearance. So what I did is put a 4-inch lift kit. I already installed some longer brake lines up front, so that's not going to be a problem. But what I want to do here is just film a couple clips of what goes into a job like this. It's going to be a little bit different for me because I do have a lift in the garage, which makes it easier. I also started working on the underside a few weeks ago, where I chiseled off all the rivets and stuff for the radius arm brackets, things like that. I also broke all the bolts loose and replaced all the bushings up front, from sway bar link bushings, axle pivot bit bushings, radius arm bushings. There's new ball joints in here. Everything's new up front. I'm just going to put a lift kit on it now. Hopefully it won't be too difficult. Come on up, we'll take a quick look. I'm not going to do a full unboxing, but I'll show you what comes in the box. This was $530 delivered. So we've got 2 coil springs, 4 inches longer. They are going to be a little bit softer than the originals, which is cool. Got that. Next box. Got the U-bolts and the spacers for the leaf springs out back. Since these are taller, I need longer bolts. There's also 2 shocks for the front, 2 shocks for the rear, as well as a steering stabilizer that comes with this kit. So that also comes with a shock. There's a bunch of hardware in here. But what sets this apart from a standard coil lift or a spacer lift is these brackets. The Broncos and the F-150s have radius arm brackets which need to be lowered in order to keep the alignment of the truck aligned, because it does have a TTB transmission, or I'm sorry, TTB front end, which acts like a scissors. So if you push the tire down, the camber is going to be way off. So this bracket will actually go underneath, as opposed to the radius arm running right into here. It's going to go into here, which is going to allow everything to line up. There's also some brackets needed for the axle pivots, so these will go in too. It's pretty much bolt up except for a couple spots that I need to drill. In terms of tools, I'll just be brief. You need a pitman arm puller, sockets, impact stuff. I'm probably going to need this chisel, nut driver, you know, standard kind of stuff. Probably also need a torch to get the pitman arm off. Pitman arm is in here somewhere. I think it's in this box. Yeah. It's a drop pitman arm, so instead of straight, it drops. Pretty beefy too. So you're gonna have to get the old one off, which is a wedge fit. It's gonna require a little gusto, but we'll get it off. Just gonna take some time. I might have to cut it off, but I think the torch and the puller should do the job, and hammer. So that's the deal. Now the next step for me is to take this thing, get it up as high as I can, as high as the garage will allow me to, and then dismantle the front end, and then start putting in the front end parts. I'll do the rear end second. This is already pretty high because I think there's some F-250 springs underneath there, which is definitely giving me some more height. So I'm going to do the front first and see if I need to put in the spacers for the rear, or if the spacers are too high, I'll go and find some smaller spacers, something that's maybe 1.5 inches versus 2 inches or 3 inches here. But we'll get to that when we get there. So here we go.